Afghanistan keep their semi-finals hope alive, while Netherlands' hopes of a direct qualification in the Champions Trophy of 2025 have taken a hit. It was a comprehensive win by Afghanistan. I really don't want to say much about what happened in the Netherlands innings, of course, because of my love for runouts is known to the viewers out there. Uh, Anirudh, just try and sum up that game. I just felt that this was a game of just the first innings, and yeah,
Yeah.
the second innings was just a mere
I, I thought
formality, so as to say.
for the first 20 overs, both sides tried their best to lose the match. it is like it is like nobody wanted to win. First of all, Afghanistan, the horrendous power play performance with the ball. It was probably one of the worst displays of new ball bowling I've seen in the entire tournament relative to the surface. Uh, and then Netherlands with, I don't know, some of the probably the worst running I've ever seen in my life. It doesn't. I mean, I've never seen four top order batters get run out in a single match, and I think that's anyway a record. I guess it's never happened in cricket history, if I'm not wrong. So it's just, I mean, I'm just absolutely baffled what went on in that Netherlands innings, especially after the start. They got 75 for one and like 11 overs. I thought from there it was, Afghanistan at their mercy, because I thought from there 250 was a given for Netherlands given how deep they bat. But it's just, I mean, it's just absolutely shocking that and sad that their innings, you know, endured such an anticlimactic end. I honestly was hoping for a very tight match, but 180 was at least 87, 80, 90 runs short of par on the surface, and I'm sure Netherlands will also admit it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nikhil, your X factor of the day was Noor Ahmed, and yeah, I
And
mean
Cyprian.
Netherlands had lost half their side. Sorry.
Noor Ahmed and Cyprian Angle Breath. I mean, they got runs, but I don't know at what cost.
But, but it was, if it was Nikhil's X factor that ran out my X factor, who would have otherwise gone on to score 70 or 80 as I predicted. So it is not fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
so what I was saying was Netherlands had lost their half their side before Noor even came on to bowl. I mean, yeah, how can someone really, like, I'm clearly struggling for words, but today, I don't think you can really say, I think this is probably one of the only times you'll say that the player who's top scored the innings has probably hurt his side, really a lot, because with that run out of Ackerman and then his own run out. So, and do you also think that somewhere Netherlands missed the trick by not sending Scott Edwards at four and sending Engelbrecht? Do you think that is where they allowed Afghanistan to come back into the game?
Yeah, I mean, there were so many things that you said in that past minute where you're all scratching your heads. The way Fazallah was bowling. Firstly, uh, I mean, he's getting cut. He's getting smashed to the fence. Maxed out the guy who hasn't scored that many runs in the entire tournament. It felt like they'll give him 150, 200 all to him, because and it is amazing that a side was able to come back after that start to just keep the total to 170, and you are 92 for 2, and then you are 97 for 5. Now that's a controllable not taken care of, and I think Netherlands should be really, really disappointed that it is one thing getting out to good bowling, getting out to pressure, but it is one thing creating that pressure all by yourself, and you could visibly see that in the way they ran. I mean, I don't remember the last time you saw such, as Anirudh said, you don't remember last time you had top order batters running like that. So it was really bizarre in terms of how, because you can't make any sense of it. There was no need for stuff like that. Yes, the wicket held up a bit, but you had gotten a platform, and you couldn't have asked for a better platform to take care of the four spinners. So I think Netherlands will rue that, because, as you rightly said, in the second half, commendable again to Rahmat and Hazmatullah, and we need to really get hold of Somesh, because the moment he writes off to few people, they both of them have gone on to score 50s in a row now. So we really need to catch hold of Somesh, because some people may need him. But yeah, I think Netherlands will be terribly disappointed. Uh, Afghanistan, they couldn't have asked for more. Fazul did not have to bowl again. Uh, Azmatullah only bowled three. Nabi, I mean, we all discussed about 40 good overs, and we were like, of all the mystery spin that could trouble Netherlands, they helped themselves with three to Nabi and four to run outs. So, I mean, it's just bizarre game.
By the way, just I want our viewers to know this, that Nabi, wrong time. I just want our viewers to know that Nabi has the third best economy rate of bowlers who have bowled 40 overs or more in this. You could even say 45, because he has an economy rate of 4.02 right now. The only two bowlers who have bowled enough and who have better that economy rate are Bumrah and Jadeja. So that tells you about the amount of control that Nabi is providing. I thought somewhere Engelbrett coming in allowed Nabi to come in because he just got stuck, and I feel that run out of Ackerman was just more down to Engelbrett trying to get a move on, and he just ran that risky single and sold Ackerman a dummy. Uh, Coming to you, Anirudh, could Netherlands have done anything else with the ball here? Yeah, Netherlands could they have done anything else with the ball, because they got an opening of sorts. They had both the openers dismissed for 50 when the score was 55 for 2, which was around the 10th 11th over. Could they have done something from there?
Honestly, I mean, I don't think so. It didn't. It felt like a pretty good pitch to bat on, even in the first innings, and I don't think the conditions, got worse by any means in the second innings. Came on pretty all right. Probably Van Meekeren had an off day in terms of the lengths he wanted to bowl. He was probably not good with his lines either. I think he conceded like around 20 runs in his first 2 overs and also bowled a no ball to Hashmat up front. So not at his best. But I don't think so. Like I said, 270, 280, maybe, we would have been talking about a contest. But 170, absolutely not. Because we saw in the last match at this venue as well, Sri Lanka were able to chase 260, 270 odd without breaking a sweat, even though they lost like a couple of wickets up front. So, same bowling lineup, which has plenty of variety. It's not like Netherlands don't have enough variety to exploit, a two-paced wicket or anything like that. They are a quality bowling unit with a very sound captain. But even, I mean, and Scott Edwards is someone who you can't even accuse of letting the game drift or anything like that. At one point, he had like uh, a third wideish slip, a gully and all for Hashmat when Van Meekeren was bowling. So tried everything he could. Edwards certainly as a captain, but 180 was at least 80, 90 shot, I think.
Nikhil, coming to you, I want to talk to you about Nabi. What is it that he's, doing differently in terms of, maybe his, I don't know whether it's his lengths, whether it's his speeds, or whether it's the lines, but what is he doing differently from the other bowlers in the tournament that he's able to provide such great control? In that Pakistan game as well, he had figures of 1 for 31, and there's only been one game where he's been smashed, which was against India, where he went for 32 in his 4 overs. But otherwise, he's largely been very economical. So, what do you think he's doing right in terms of having that economy rate under control?
Yeah, firstly, I'll be very honest. I don't think it's all down to him in terms of just getting it right at most occasions. He's doing the best that he can in terms of keeping it tight, like we discussed with Jadeja, that their roles in the teams are such that they are the ones who are supposed to keep the runs down so that they are able to attack from the other end. Now, problem, as you rightly pointed out just a few minutes back, you get a batter who's going to get stuck with his spin. Nabi is not going to leave them apart, and he's too experienced, too smart to know that this is where I know this guy is going to get stuck. So he'll keep bowling there, vary his pace, vary the angle, so that the guy is not able to get off the mark. It is something that you saw Iftikhar do with Mitch Marsh in Bangalore. That after the first 3 overs, You saw how Iftikhar was happy to bowl to Mitch Marsh how much ever you want to do, which actually you think is a negative matchup. But Marsh, the way he set up, he was just getting stuck, unable to rotate either off from the crease or getting ahead. So I think again he's called the president for a reason. So if you give him a chance, he's more than going to be happy to keep bowling there and not have anything untoward that that will put him off. But I think in that Pakistan game also he was 5 overs for 11 runs, if I'm not wrong. So if you don't attack him, he's not going to leave that spot. He's not worried about getting hit, but you are not hitting him at all in the very first place. So just very good reward for some consistent bowling in the right areas, and that is what it was with Nabi.
Yeah, and we can see the score projection here as well. Netherlands, if our viewers can have a look here, they scored more runs in the first power play than what they did in the 20 overs from the 11th to the 30th over. They scored 66 in the first power play and 63 in the next 20 overs. So that really tells a story of where they lost the game or got behind. I feel both of you would agree that this is where the game turned, would be the turning point easily.
Yeah, I personally
Yeah.
felt the max out run out was unnecessary, but
Uh,
the Ackerman run out was what
yeah.
completely shifted the momentum. Like
Yeah.
95 for two, like Nikhil pointed out, and
Yeah.
after that 95 for three. Then Edward comes in, and he gets, you can call it a run out, but it's actually stumped. You have to, I mean,
Yeah.
it's technically a run out, but it's
Based
actually
on
a stumping. Yeah, so you know he departs first ball, which is a disaster because he's the guy who's
yeah.
supposed to be the guy who kind of milks the spinners and puts them off and all that, and he tries to paddle sweep and gets stumped first ball, and then next thing there's another dismissal within 5 balls, then another dismissal within five
Yeah.
overs, then another dismissal. So yeah, and also Ackerman was actually playing really well. Like he
Yeah.
did not even look troubled, and he was actually looking very assured at the crease, just like O'Dowd. So again, it's credit to Afghanistan for clawing back into the
Even that.
game, like
Yeah.
brilliant piece of fielding from Azmat. That direct hit, but this was all about Netherlands. They
Yeah.
self-destructed. You can't, uh, you know, you can't really win. You can't really do this, at a World Cup stage when you're actually fighting for a Champions Trophy spot. It's just lack of experience. Probably it's just a mess altogether. What happened today?
Yeah, actually, I just find that bit a bit more surprising as well, that it's now these are not the things that they've done before. And as you rightly said, sometimes, like say the innings that Sri Lanka had yesterday against India, now those things can happen when you are facing something that's that good, that's putting so much pressure. You expect mistakes to then come out of those kind of pressure. But I think today it was just down to, as you rightly said, self-destructing. There was Afghanistan was just there, and Netherlands were like, no, we don't want to do it. I mean, it is just bizarre to even try and explain and make sense of what because I mean, it almost will look like we don't want to create Afghanistan, but it's not such. It's just the manner of dismissals that Netherlands had that makes you wonder that they had the platter, they had the platform on a platter from Afghanistan, that here is a very expensive new ball spell. Now go make 200, 240 at least. And then from there, they can do a lot more things, but it just completely unraveled for them.
Yeah, I just want our viewers to know this, that in the first 10 overs, Netherlands had hit 12 boundaries and they finished the innings with 19 boundaries, with only three batters hitting boundaries, which is O'Dowd, Ackerman, and Engelbrecht. So post Engelbrecht, no one hit a boundary. That's
They hardly stayed in the crease to hit a boundary,
yeah.
Paji.
I mean, I'm just giving some hard numbers that this is it's something that you rarely see. When you see your top three doing well, you expect someone to carry that start
Yeah.
or do something. So I just wanted to elaborate that this was not a difficult batting pitch, and this was, yeah, sorry.
Nini, it is how amazing and stupid and embarrassing at the same time
Yeah,
that three of your top four have got starts. and three of them got run out. It is just I don't know. I don't have a
Yeah,
word to.
I tweeted this that if I was the batting coach, I would have lost my mind. I would have asked my batters that you better get out hit wicket than get out like this, because
I,
this was just, it was
no,
bizarre. And there was a moment in time I was, or while doing this show, I was stuck because I really did not know how to describe this. And everyone knows I hate run out so much. It was just, I don't know.
funnily enough, I feel that the Engelbrecht runout was actually excusable, because when you're batting with the tail, these kind of things happen. It's fine. Like,
Uh,
okay, I mean, probably not great considering there were already like a couple of runouts before that, but still, when you're batting with the tail number 8, number 9, number 10, you do see runouts. But I can't believe that
Ackerman.
what
He was
Woodhout
batting with
and both Ackerman wickets were.
he was batting with Vander Merwe, and
I know,
how
but
how bad of a run was that, because the throw wasn't the accurate one. The keeper had to move to collect it, and still he was out by a distance. That is how bad the whole decision making was in terms of
Yeah.
the running between the wickets. I actually wanted to chip in earlier when Nikhil was saying something about we need to have a word with Somesh and get him on the show. We've spoken of how Somesh criticizing a cricketer has not ended up well with those cricketers performing well. I just want to say that we have also been taking his case a lot, and he's also been in very good form in terms of his writing. Today
Yeah.
also he wrote a good piece on New Zealand, which is
New
something
Zealand.
I'd like the viewers to read, because
Yeah.
New Zealand play tomorrow. So yeah, manager Saab might be getting a lot of his criticisms wrong, but he's our criticism of him is also rubbing off well on him. So
Yeah.
there's something for something positive happening for Somesh on that front. So please do read that. I'm looking at the comments and see if there are any questions that we can take here. Jaideep Gajera saying, I think Netherlands expected a big total from the dressing room itself. They will get the template right to go for
Yeah.
making
Yeah.
good total. Say with playing more ODIs. This kind of things happen. Yeah, I mean it was, see, I feel had they gotten out while trying to while getting stuck versus Rashid or Noor, it would have been understandable. You say, okay, they've probably not faced enough of Noor, but today was just,
And actually, if you think of it, the problem isn't them not doing as much expected. The problem is we expect and we rate them highly to be able
exactly.
to get to that stage, and that is the and it's not we're not talking here about what kind of team they are associated. All of it doesn't matter. They have the potential, and they've shown in the past that they have the acumen. I mean, we've been speaking so much about how prepared they are as a side, and today, as I just said at the first part, it is a controllable. And that is what is hurting more than anything else. And of course, the more they play, the better they will get. But it's just this bit happening in this particular way that is switched off all of our buttons in terms of nobody's able to explain what's happened.
Yeah. Before I move on to showing you the points table and the matches which Afghanistan have next, I just want to ask all the viewers to please press the like button. The number of likes is equal to the number of prayers for Netherlands to replace England in the
Yeah.
Champions Trophy in 2025. So guys, this is the world agenda. Please buy into that. Please press the like button. But here's the points table. Afghanistan have 4 wins out of 7. They're on 8 points, at par with Australia and New Zealand in terms of points, and Netherlands are at 8, ahead of Bangladesh and England. And now Afghanistan have 2 matches remaining, which is versus Australia in Mumbai, a match which has Anirudh worried because he feels that one fifer of Rashid Khan
Yeah.
or mean reversion of luck can happen that day. Would be interesting to see if that happens. And then they play South Africa next Friday in Ahmedabad. Uh, okay, realistically talking about Afghanistan's chances. First question is how badly will they rule? I think now it is safe to say that they have qualified for the Champions Trophy, in 2025. But how much would they regret that game versus Bangladesh, and probably their fielding efforts in the game versus New Zealand?
New Zealand.
But having said that, where where is where could Afghanistan look to beat Australia when that game happens?
Take it over, Anirudh.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think Nikhil brought up a good point about Nabi kind of locking in the batters who he knows won't take him on. Look, I don't know if Mitchell Marsh will be back in time for the that match. I don't think so because he's just left India, I guess. So it's unlikely that he'll be playing a match in like 4 5 days time. But yeah, I mean, look, Australia are not the best of teams against spin bowling. We know that even on like normal decks, it doesn't even have to be like a very big turner or what. If it's a normal good sporting wicket, Australia will still struggle against spin, and that middle order is there to be exploited. So early wickets, if Afghanistan can get both the openers early, like let's say they can have Australia like 40 for 2 in like 8 or 9 overs, then you're talking about a really interesting match. This is assuming Australia bat first. If Afghanistan bat first, anything over 275, 280, you know, you never know. It's always game on, right? So Australia have
Nikhil,
also so far. I mean, I know they're playing tomorrow, but so far they've only chased once successfully in this World Cup, and that was also a very shaky chase. Like they lost 2 wickets up front, then Labuschagne and Marsh, kind of did a decent rebuild job, and then Inglis came and took the match away. But that was a 209 chase. So Australia have not chased a decent score yet. Uh, but again, the biggest challenge I feel will be Zampa and Stark. I just feel that these two players and also Hazelwood, these three bowlers might have too much X factor, especially at a venue like Wankhede, that Afghan batters might not be able to handle it. So
So in that case, do you think batting first might be the best way to go for
probably yes.
Afghanistan?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, anyway,
Yeah.
Wankhede so far every match has been won by the team batting first, right? So it's a no-brainer. Bat first, win the toss and bat first. But uh, I also feel, look, I don't know, maybe Australia might. Uh, I don't know what will happen when it comes to qualification because it will depend a lot on tomorrow's match. So Australia might be more desperate to win if they lose tomorrow. I feel so. Maybe Afghanistan must pray for an Australia win tomorrow,
Australia, yeah,
and also
better.
maybe they must pray also for a South Africa win against India, so that South Africa are completely switched off. By the time the last group match comes, so that they'll take it lightly. So
No, they don't have
just
to switch it off. Okay.
just one question that I have to Nikhil over here. Nikhil, going into that Australia game, would you drop Noor and bring in Naveen ul Haq, given how the conditions have been at Wankhede, or would you like to stick with Noor Ahmed because you know that the middle order could be shaky versus that kind of spin?
Yeah, I would love to keep Noor, but I don't know what's written in the textbook because Shahidi will definitely follow the textbook. So I'm going to be very open and clear about my expectation and also what is more likely to happen. Because if you look at it from a very practical point of view, will Australia be how? Okay, let's look at this way. Who is the more likely to take 3-4 against Australia, Naveen or Noor? Noor is more likely to take it in the middle overs, break the
Yep.
game open. Whether
Yep.
Naveen can do it in Wankhede, of course he can. But I just feel in my way, in my thought process, that it's far more likely that if you pair Noor with Rashid well after a decent start with the new ball, there is still hope. And even if they have a good score on board, I still feel Noor, again, it might just be blind faith from my end, but I feel Noor could create enough opportunities if all may not result into wickets. But in terms of chance creation, it might not be a bad ploy to play Noor, but they will really have to get the pacer right. Because I think that's where the problem lies, that when you play three spinners, your pacers are Fazal and Azmat. You cannot really go back to them hoping that they'll control the runs at the death because it may not always happen. So you have to try and break the game open by the 40th over mark so that you can use Rashid, Fazal, and Azmat as a combination as opposed to looking for more of just the pacers at the end.
Fair enough. So we've spoken enough about Afghanistan. Netherlands do have 2 games remaining. One is versus England, and the other is versus India. They play England in Pune and they play India at Bangalore. Uh, Anirudh, Nikhil, coming to you guys. Maybe Nikhil can do this, take this first. Nikhil, can England upset Netherlands?
I'll actually hope not, because I really feel there is some history with Netherlands and England. I
Yeah.
remember the broad face when that overthrow happened in 2009, and then it again
2014
happened in
also.
2014 also. So very good orange memories for England. I mean, not so good orange memories, but it will be in Pune. The deck is such that you expect England to do better, but maybe the game tomorrow could give us more idea on what kind of because see, if they are not able to step up or have a good game against Australia, it doesn't have to be a win or in that sense. But how they bat versus Australia will tell you a lot in terms of how the side is in terms of confidence. I heard the David Willey interview and really felt bad for him in terms of not getting a certain contract and how he felt about all of that. So it is a big game for England tomorrow, firstly, because then if they don't click tomorrow, if I'm Netherlands, I should be really, really planning to my best to be able to, just test England a lot more because that batting lineup is lacking confidence. There is no better time to put up a great show with the bat. And it's not that see, when you're looking at a slightly lesser fancy side against a strong side, as he pointed out, Zampa and Stark. Now, those are the guys who can run through teams on their own. And at this point of time, England don't have somebody like that. So Mark Wood is there, but he hasn't had that game so far. And you had Reece Topley, who was the bowler in form, but he's not going to play. So that is where I think England could be in some trouble, but a lot will depend on England's batting, I feel.
Yeah, and I think what will help Netherlands is that there is no left arm spinner with England. So, with all those plethora of right handers should really enjoy that factor. Anirudh, you
Yeah.
are on board with what Nikhil said, or you have something else to add on that?
Yeah, I mean, same thing. I feel that if England, let's say, manage to beat Australia tomorrow, then I don't think Netherlands will be able to beat England because England will have some momentum, and as Nikhil said, on a track like Pune, you expect England to have the better of the conditions because I know we said the same about Bangalore, and then they got like bowled out for 150 odd, but you know.
May it
Uh,
happen again.
yeah, it just feels like whether Netherlands could beat England or not might depend a lot on tomorrow's result because if Australia managed to beat England as well and they're like 1-6 after like 7 matches, then I mean if you can't even step up against Australia, like when you're England, well, with the Champions Trophy spot at stake, then I think something is wrong with your team. And also, I'd like to remind everyone that the last time Netherlands beat England was also when England were in a similar position where they had already lost 2 matches against New Zealand and South Africa, I guess, in the 2014 World T20. And then the Netherlands match was a dead rubber. They were already down on confidence, and Netherlands didn't just beat them; they hammered them, absolutely hammered them. So, look, if you are Netherlands, you want an Australia hammering tomorrow with England getting bowled out for like 140 or 130 as they have been, And I'm not talking this from a Netherlands
Anirudh,
perspective.
Anirudh is completely waiting for that game to rip into England there. Yeah, I think that the previous question was also a great one from Darshan, where he asks about Gus Atkinson. I think he could really. I mean, we have
Oh yeah.
two games tomorrow to preview, but it could be a good game. Even the next one, but even tomorrow could be a good day to play Atkinson at Ahmedabad. Uh, could get good bounce and carry.
Yeah.
Yep. All right then. We've discussed usually something that we don't do because we believe in keeping some conversations related
Yeah.
to those specific matches on that day itself. But today there wasn't really much to discuss, and we had viewers, and we wanted to really talk about the chances of the teams going forward. So we took this up, but it's been a early wrap up, probably
Yeah.
3 days in a row now. Tomorrow we have two games. New Zealand play Pakistan, and so do England play Australia. One game is in Bangalore.
Bangalore.
It's been raining. I heard it rained in Bangalore
Yeah.
today. The other is in Ahmedabad. Uh, the first game is between two sides. One who's now on some kind of a losing streak. The other, it's just hard to define them. Like it's just very hard to define what kind of a side that they are. So should be an interesting game. England Australia has always been a rivalry. Australia right now are on a 4 game winning streak, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, 4 game winning streak, and England don't seem to be winning anything. So let's see if it turns out to be a game which is like an Ashes Test match in England, or does it turn out to be an Ashes Test match in Australia? If you
So both
guys,
both will be one-sided. Okay, ठीक है.
Ashes in England is still not as
And
one-sided.
and
Ashes in
also
England still is
England
competitive.
England don't have good memories of Ahmedabad, at least in the last couple of years. So you
Yeah,
know
yeah.
that's also
All we needed was a left arm spinner in Ahmedabad versus England,
Yeah.
but
But
come,
see, England are already winning morally because Joe Root said that he'll prefer that England team over this Australian team. So they are already winning morally. क्या पाजी?
morally they never lose. Morally
And
they never lose.
just, just to get it out there before we discuss tomorrow, Somesh has written a lot about New Zealand today. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
But it's a good piece. It's a good piece. You guys should
I
read
am
it.
not saying anything. Do read and yeah, keep in mind.
Chalo. On that
Yes.
note, goodbye to everyone. Please join us tomorrow. Tomorrow we have an early start at 9:55.
Yes.
So do join us, and we'll try to preview both the games in that
Yeah.
35 windows. Sometimes we have gone overboard, but you can't help it when I'm there. Not the fault of cricket.com guys. But that's it for today. Good night,
Cheers.
and hope to see all of you tomorrow.